In this episode, a review of natural disasters that struck the Earth from April 23rd to 29th. Only verified facts, no exaggerations or speculation, so you can assess the true scale of what's happening with the climate. And most importantly, to understand who truly holds responsibility for our shared future. Europe. At the end of April, Europe was hit by a wave of extreme weather that affected several countries at once. Starting April 23rd, Hungary was struck by severe storms, accompanied by strong winds and thunderstorms. Heavy downpours and sudden flooding caused damage in the Transdanubia region. In the village of Kamchatka, as much rain fell in 1 hour as typically falls in an entire month. In several parts of Somogy County, roads were submerged by mud flows, making travel impossible. The severe weather also disrupted rail transport. One train was unable to continue its journey and had to return to its departure station. In some areas of Sheksard, the water level rose so high that garbage bins were floating freely through the streets. Northeastern Hungary was also affected. In Borsod-Abaúj-Zemplén County, the downpours were accompanied by large hailstones up to 3 centimeters in diameter. Ice covered the streets and farmland, lingering for a long time before melting. In the Szabolcs-Szatmár-Bereg region, hail caused serious damage to fruit orchards, worsening the effects of the April frost that had already harmed the trees earlier in the month. On April 23rd, southern regions of Germany and the Harz Mountains in the north were hit by intense thunderstorms accompanied by heavy rain and hail. As one meteorologist noted, the fact that such weather events are already occurring in April is deeply concerning. They are typically seen in midsummer. In some mountain villages, murky streams of water flowed through the streets, reaching knee height. The following day, on April 24th, a powerful storm struck Bosnia and Herzegovina. In the Majvica area, the severe weather disrupted traffic on a key stretch of the Banja Luka-Tuzla highway. In the Podmajevica area, heavy rainfall caused flooding of residential homes, triggered landslides, and damaged agricultural land, casting doubt on the future harvest. On April 26th, the majority of Romania was severely affected by heavy rain and hail. The epicenter of the storm was the city of Rașnov, where a powerful storm with rain and hail raged. According to eyewitnesses, the water quickly flooded the streets, and locals admitted that they had never encountered such a phenomenon before. The Minister of Environment warned of an impending shortage of Romanian fruit. Spring frosts caused significant damage to the cherry, sour cherry, apricot, and peach harvests. In the Montana region of Bulgaria, some areas received about 72 millimeters of rainfall in just 1 hour. Such heavy downpours caused flooding of yards, basements, and the lower floors of buildings. In Italy, a powerful hailstorm caused significant damage to agricultural land, particularly wheat crops in the Luzara area, Foggia province. In some places, the layer of hail reached 20 centimeters, paralyzing traffic on the roads. On April 26th, a tornado was recorded in Ukraine. It formed in the Brovary district of Kyiv region and quickly gained widespread attention on social media. Such vortices typically form in Ukraine during the height of summer, mostly in the southern parts of the country, where hot weather and sea air create favorable conditions for their formation. However, the occurrence of a tornado in April, especially in northern regions near Kyiv, falls outside the typical climate norm. Experts note that, despite the fact that the recorded tornado was relatively weak, such events may become increasingly intense and dangerous in the future. In the municipality of Heraklion on the island of Crete, a concerning situation is unfolding due to the discovery of extensive cracks in the ground. The first signs of geological instability were recorded on April 23rd, when a crack crossed the road. In the following days, the situation quickly worsened. Cracks began to appear in residential buildings, streets, roads, and other infrastructure elements. As a result, more than 20 homes were affected, with 9 of them being deemed completely uninhabitable. Local residents are deeply concerned. According to them, new cracks are appearing every day in various parts of the village, yet specialists have not yet provided an explanation for the cause of the phenomenon. Russia. A powerful eruption occurred on one of the most active volcanoes in Kamchatka, Bezimiany, with its peak on April 24th. The ash plume reached a height of 11 kilometers. Despite initial forecasts, the cloud suddenly changed direction to the southwest, covering several settlements in the Milkovsky district. According to local residents, darkness suddenly fell in the middle of the day as the thick ash cloud nearly completely blocked the sun. The entire area was covered with a layer of ash up to 3 millimeters thick, leading to the closure of water intake facilities. Due to the volcanic activity, a red aviation hazard level was declared and a state of heightened alert was introduced in the region. On April 25th, the ash cloud reached Petropavlovsk, Kamchatka, and hung over the city at a height of up to 5 kilometers. An extraordinary occurrence given that the volcano is located more than 350 kilometers from the regional capital. Such a distant ash dispersal is only possible with exceptionally powerful eruptions and a rare combination of weather conditions that allow the ash to be transported over such a long distance. According to a volcanologist, the behavior of the volcano this time was unusual, as an unusually long period of activity preceded the eruption. Transbaikal became the center of large-scale natural wildfires. By the end of April, 99% of all registered fires in the country were burning here. The fire covered an area of over 330,000 hectares. Due to this situation, a federal state of emergency was declared in the region. The critical situation in Transbaikal has persisted for over a month. As of April 29th, 44 forest fires were actively burning in the region. The fire spread not only through forests and fields, but also into residential areas. In just one day, more than 20 homes were destroyed, with only the chimneys left standing in most cases. The fire came close to Chita. The city was enveloped in thick smoke, with a persistent smell of burning in the air. In some areas, visibility on the roads was reduced to zero. The federal highway Amur was closed. On April 28th, in the Karimsky district, near the village of Bolshaya Tura, military warehouses caught fire. Aviation was deployed to help extinguish the blaze, and the fire was eventually localized. Nearly 1,500 people are involved in firefighting efforts, with Il-76 aircraft also being used. Turkey. A powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.2 struck on April 23rd off the coast of Istanbul in the Sea of Marmara. The epicenter was located at a depth of about 7 kilometers. The earthquake lasted for 13 seconds, during which the streets filled with people who, fearing aftershocks, hurriedly left their homes, offices, cafes, and other buildings. In Istanbul and the surrounding areas, there were at least 359 reported injuries. Some people were injured while jumping out of windows, others sustained injuries in the panic, and many had to seek medical help due to panic attacks. As a result of the earthquake, over 1,600 buildings were damaged. After the main shock, more than 400 aftershocks were recorded, some of which were quite strong, reaching magnitudes of up to 5.9. After the tragic events of February 2023, when nearly 60,000 lives were lost in Turkey and Syria due to two devastating earthquakes with magnitudes of 7.8 and 7.8-7.5, each new seismic event causes fear and anxiety among the residents of the region. Therefore, fearing the aftermath of aftershocks, on April 23rd, many residents refused to return to their homes after the earthquake, opting to sleep outdoors in parks, tents, cars, and mosques. The seismic tremors were also felt in neighboring countries. Residents of Greece, Bulgaria, and Romania reported experiencing them. Israel. On April 23rd, large-scale fires broke out in Israel. Combined with the heat, strong winds, and dry weather, the fire quickly spread across the central regions of the country, turning them into a disaster zone. The most significant blaze occurred in the area between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, affecting natural areas near Beit Shemesh and the Eshtal forest. The flames rapidly moved towards residential areas, forcing authorities to urgently evacuate residents from several rural settlements. In the region, traffic on major highways was temporarily suspended. Rail services were also temporarily suspended. Ground and aerial forces were deployed to combat the fire. Dozens of firefighting teams worked around the clock, and it took 30 hours to bring the fire under control. The total area affected by the blaze exceeded 1,000 hectares. Several people suffered from poisoning due to inhaling smoke. Another forest fire spread to the Aynot-Giveton Nature Reserve, causing significant damage to the ecosystem, which had been restored just 2 years ago as part of a 10-year restoration project. More than 20 hectares of valuable wetland area were destroyed. The fire also spread to agricultural land, affecting the fields of several communities. Rescuers quickly evacuated people and animals that were at risk from the fire. The ecological damage to the region is considered catastrophic. South Africa. On April 25th, heavy rains hit the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, causing severe flooding in the city of Durban and its surrounding areas. Powerful streams of water quickly turned the streets into dangerous rivers, halting traffic and causing significant damage to transportation infrastructure. The most severe impact was felt in the Umlazi area, where residential homes were destroyed and bridges and other infrastructure were damaged. The continuous rainfall triggered the collapse of several buildings, resulting in 1 death and at least 5 injuries, with the victims being hospitalized. Ecuador. On the morning of April 25th, a strong earthquake with a magnitude of 6.3 struck near the northern coast of Ecuador. The relatively shallow depth of the epicenter and the high magnitude of the seismic event meant that the tremors were felt by residents in 10 out of Ecuador's 24 provinces, including the densely populated capital, Quito. The earthquake caused widespread destruction. Around 1,000 buildings were affected, with at least 179 of them being completely destroyed. Additionally, 2 bridges were reported to be damaged. 32 people were injured as a result of the earthquake. In the province of Esmeraldas, located closest to the epicenter, power and communication outages affected up to 90% of households. As a safety measure, it was decided to suspend operations at the oil refinery owned by Petroecuador. 25 minutes later, another earthquake with a magnitude of 4.1 struck the coastal province of Guayas, located in the southwest of Ecuador. Despite the growing scale of climate disasters, there is a concerning inaction from decision-makers at the international level. This behavior is driven by various motives. Some underestimate the threat, others fear destabilizing the situation, worrying that the lack of ready solutions might cause panic among the public, and some deliberately prioritize their selfish interests over the safety of people and the planet. This is why awareness and engagement from society are more important than ever. Grassroots initiatives from ordinary people can spark significant change. Political institutions will not be able to ignore a unanimous demand from the citizens. Today, humanity already possesses all the necessary knowledge, analytical tools, and technologies to address the climate situation. What is lacking is the decisive practical application of these resources. Personal involvement from each individual plays a key role in this process. Spreading accurate information, discussing the situation with others, and ensuring that the topic of escalating catastrophes becomes a priority for the global community. All these simple yet important steps can form the foundation for creating a public demand. And this, in turn, is a real driving force for change. This force is in the hands of each of us.